Good morning. I'm going to keep this short. Yesterday, after making my video, which was basically about the necessity for a competitive environment if you want to strive for excellence, I was there going about my business, and this and the Buddha of Stoicism comes into my news feed with this video that competition is for losers. Now you know who I'm calling the Buddha of Stoicism, Ryan Holiday. And this thing of competition is for losers. And I just said to myself, is this one of these fucking clickbait headlines? I says, is this some sort of a sick joke? What's this shit? And I said, is this one of these clickbait headlines? I said, this man can't be serious. And the man is serious. The man giving out that usual bullshit that the only person you're competing with is yourself and being better than you were yesterday and all this wank. Now, I'm going to tell you about that. There was one time I was doing my first bodybuilding show, and I was from a town that was like, it was a town in the middle of Ireland, and bodybuilding was not really a thing in it. You know what I mean? I would have been the first man taking a bit of juice. I would have been the first man taking a bit of juice and establishing a market. But I would have been the first man taking a bit of juice, and the first man that I think going for the for competition. But not that, like, because it was sort of a cult sport, you know what I mean? Bodybuilding is a cult sport. And I was there training away in the gym, and it's big fish, small pond, you know what I mean? Because I was there, and of course everybody noticing the changes and everything else, and I was starting to say to myself, oh yeah, this is in the bag. I was looking in the mirror and I was saying, oh yeah, this is in the bag. It's not even about placing. This is mine. You know what I mean? This is mine. I was going for the novice competition, which is, if you've never competed before, if you've never won before, you could compete in novice until such time as you won the novice, and then you could move up to the next level. But I was competing in a novice, and I just said to myself, I'm untouchable. Of course, and I was reading the books, and I had all the theory, and I was applying all the theory, and comparing myself, of course, to the other gym members. Well, I didn't have anyone else, but of course, you could go along and you could compare yourself to the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger. But I just said to myself, well, Arnold's the model, like, and we're striving towards that. But this is a novice competition, and I needn't be expecting that level of competition, But so there I was, and I did the diet, and I did the fucking carb down and the carb up and all this shit. And I went down to the competition. It was down in Cork, and I went down to the competition. And I walked into the dressing room. And when I walked into the dressing room, I had a panic attack. Now, I didn't nearly have a panic attack. I had a full-blown panic attack. Because when I saw what I was competing against, first of all, my initial thought was I was in the wrong dressing room. And then when I realised that I was in the right dressing room, that's when the panic attack even got worse. I started to hyperventilate and everything. Because I said to myself, after all my effort, it was the very same as someone got a shotgun and poof, blew me back out through the fucking door. I was completely out of my league. And it's one of the biggest kick in the arses that he ever fucking got. But I didn't even want to go back. I went through with it anyway, of course, because I brought a couple of friends with me. Of course, I wanted my victory to be witnessed, and I brought a couple of friends with me and all. And they actually talked me into going out on stage. But I was suffering from such stress. I remember I was suffering from such stress that I was supposed to be posing to the song, Creed, Arms Wide Open, and my music wouldn't play, and they came out and said, we're going to choose some different music for you. And I said, grand, and this was all very stressful day. And of course I was on a bit of juice and everything else, was nearly getting up my arse to contain this. And then they start playing, when they picked out this music, they start playing Pump Up the Jam. Well, I completely snapped. I completely snapped. The whole thing just vented. But anyway, my point being that everybody looks great standing on their own. Everybody looks great standing on their own. And you can easily take the Buddha of Stoicism's, the only person competing with you is yourself and all this, and take your head and place it up in your complacent arse. But that's not conducive to striving for excellence, because you can tell yourself you're wonderful all you fucking well like, but how is that belief serving you? How is that belief serving you? Like, it's like, yeah, grand. Lock yourself up in your wall compound and tell yourself you're wonderful. Grand. Grand. But you're not like. You're a big fish in a small pond, and you can delude yourself in that regard all you fucking well want. But it's not conducive to the evolutionary process. And you have to ask yourself how this belief is serving you, and then, but you get the message. This is why we have the Olympic Games. Bigger, stronger, faster. Bigger, stronger, faster. You're not competing with yourself. If you compete with yourself like this, that's horseshit. Horseshit. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about was, these people who are only competing with themselves, these complacent, useless, weak people, these are the people who want to tell you about your ego and to transcend your ego, This is Mr. Wishy-Washy. Transcend your ego, because we find it too intimidating for us. You know what I mean? Don't come around here with that big ego, but it's too intimidating. You're burning too bright. You're burning our fucking eyes. These are the same people, yeah. And then, I seen Dr. Grease. Now, I know I bring up Dr. Grease a good bit now. And I just want to say about Dr. Grease, I am quite taken with her. I'm quite taken with her tenacity. For one, she hasn't told me to fuck off yet. And that itself is quite tenacious, because, my soul always says to look at the soul, and despite whatever outward appearances, I do look at the soul, and she has a Spartan soul. Now, it probably needs more adversity, because she has a high carbon content, but she probably just needs more adversity to, or maybe she doesn't. I don't know. But she's, but there's no doubt about it in my mind. She's tenacious and resilient. That much I do know. Maybe I'm the adversity. Maybe I'm the as Nietzsche said, philosophy with a hammer. Maybe I'm the hammer that's going to forge the sword. We'll see. But she's not running from it anyway. But she posted this video yesterday of her sitting in a flash and fancy hotel, a lovely hotel in Athens, and she was treating herself to a coffee, and she was showing off the ambience and the affluent lifestyle. And my soul said to me, "Oh, why don't you comment on that, Dave, and tell her about the virtue of humility, and how it's one of the greatest, it's the greatest Christian values for a reason." And I said, I'll do no such thing. For the very same reason, as that would be the very same as these people telling you about your ego and transcending your ego. And you see, this is a tricky one. Because I was talking to a man yesterday and was telling me, I was saying, I was talking to a friend of mine, he's very well off, and you can aspire towards these things, and it's good to aspire towards these things. Like when I was in Monaco or Monte Carlo, I said to myself, yeah, this is all great, because I was in a place called Carp d'Ol, where first of all, the French are great. Now I know they're technically not French, but they're great for creating concepts, and you look at them and you learn from them. I'm not going to do resentiment like the people did with the Jews. I'm going to look and I'm going to learn from them. So first of all, I said to myself, "Oh, this is a wanker's paradise," and then I decided to correct myself, and I said to myself, "Well, why am I calling them wankers? Because they've more than me, and because they have this affluent lifestyle, and they've nice cars, and they've eaten in nice restaurants. No, that doesn't make them wankers." I said, I'm going to retract that statement. and I'm going to look and I'm going to observe this environment and see what I think of this environment. So I looked at them and all. They were eating lovely meals on the French Riviera in these restaurants that were sort of carved into the sea, into the rocks on the seafront. And now they were eating fine cuisine. Like French cuisine is fine cuisine because it's not like Bulgarian food can be a little bit bland and very much for necessity, but the French cuisine are very good at creating concepts. They're very good at the food, and it's they exploit every sense. And when you're creating good concepts, this is what you do: you exploit every sense in order to determine the nature of change, if you like. But the French are particularly good at this. So they're eating fine cuisine and nice music and everything else. And I said, oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. Yeah, that doesn't really float my boat. I have this experience. That's all very nice. And then I was looking at them the next day, and they weren't wearing flash clothes. They were buying good quality clothes and wearing them but they didn't feel they needed a new outfit every day, but they're good quality clothes. And then they were playing a bit of tennis and everything else. This is all very nice. But this is all very nice. I thought it was in Monte Carlo at this stage, and I said, "Oh, this is all very nice." I said, "Yeah, but I think I'd nearly rather London because London, like, you can make your money. You can make your money because I lived in London for a long time. You can make your money, and then you can go to the theatre and you can enjoy the theatre, and then you can go to Fabric and these places and you can enjoy an old rave. So you have a great variety, and there's something for every taste, and you can go up along depending on what mood takes you. But there's several ways to make and spend your money, and all both making it and spending it is for me is living. But as long as you don't, well, anyway, let's not go down there. But anyway, that was grand. And then I said I'd nearly rather London because, like, they're not really, this is a very subdued lifestyle. Like, this is not really for me. I'd be bored after about 3 or 4 days. And then I found Monte Carlo. I had to change some money, and I went into Monte Carlo and I was standing outside the casino, and I was looking all around me, and I said to myself, "Wow, wow." Wow, this is amazing. And if it's this amazing out here, how amazing must it be in there? And then that night I was sleeping on the beach, and this ship pulled in about 3 miles out from the coast with the bass that was rocking me on the beach and rocking me. And I just got up and I just said, "Oh, you fuckers. You fuckers. You fuckers have it all wrapped up. You fuckers are on the money. You fuckers have it to a T." And they had it to a T. To a T. Now, I said to myself, do I aspire to this lifestyle? Yes, I aspire to this lifestyle. Yes, I said I would give my left ball to be on that boat. I'd give my left ball to be on that boat. And I'm going to be on that boat, but I'm going to be on that boat in jogging pants. Because that is anarchy. That is anarchy. And I want to be in that casino in Monte Carlo in a jogging pants. That's anarchy. But it's a strange wish, I know, but that's anarchy. I just want to give the whole thing 2 fingers. But basically, anyway. But this is why, like, but at the same time, I'm saying that life is perception. But I'm saying, like, while I aspire to these things, I don't desire these things. Because I'm trying to say you can be very easily enslaved by your desires. And then when you're completely enslaved by these desires, you find them completely bullshit. It's like a lad was telling me the other day, he made a lot of money on Bitcoin and he was living from hotel to hotel. And as Marcus really said, once you exceed a certain limit, pleasures become punishments. And he said he was never more depressed in all his life. He said it was complete bullshit. So now he's he's up there in the Stoic Hotel. He's up there in the Stoic Hotel. As I said to the lad the other day, this is not the Sheridan and I'm not your fluffer. Yeah, right, I may go. Bye.